we go. Victory Formation Podcast. It's your boy Prescott. That's your boy Eddie. Eddie, say what's up to the people.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's good to hear you. It's good to see you back. Was a very slow week in football,
It
and
is.
I think we have some fun things planned today. Let's go over
It's
a
good
few
for y'all
pieces
to
of
see me.
info.
Yeah. It's good for y'all to see me again. I'm glad you guys are here.
It
But
is good to see you again. It is.
that's just we don't got time to waste. We're gonna dive straight into let's go around the NFL, see what's anything big news we gotta talk about before we hit some Cowboys and some draft stuff. So
Let's do
what
it.
you got in the NFL news?
Well, like I said, it's not really a very busy week. Next week's going to be busy when the combine starts next week on the 23rd, and it runs all the way through March 2nd. And it just like me and Prescott were just talking. It seems like it came really quick. The combine just came really quick, and then there's a long period of time in between that and the draft, and
Yeah.
it really has to do with all the private workouts and all the all the meetings that teams will have with these players after the combine. But other than that, in the NFL, I mean, we're seeing some big names dropping in free agency right now. Some of the biggest
Yeah.
names that I've seen in free agency. I mean, as
Pretty
a
good, yeah.
whole, really, this is a really good
Yep.
year of big players in there, and I think that a lot of players are going to find that bag that they're looking for too. So, but some
Yep.
of them have already got the bag, and now they're going to have to take a little bit of a step down. Like, just for example, when the Dolphins released Tyreek Hill, I am of the opinion that he is not going to make what he was making with the Dolphins.
There's
In
no
my
way.
opinion, so
He won't
I
he
mean,
won't even
a
be
lot.
playing at the beginning of the season. Like he dislocated his leg and tore an ACL and all kind of stuff. It's like he probably missed the first 6 games of the season, so there's no way they're gonna pay him that. He might do a bet on himself 1-year deal and then do a long-term deal next year, but I don't see it.
Yeah, we'll see. But I mean, there's a huge list that you guys can go through the list of the free agents. It's getting dropped every week, and I think a lot of what you see is what they're thinking they're going to be free agents. Some
Yeah.
teams will re-sign some players and make some deals, but there's some big trades being discussed as well, not just free agents. These bigger players that have some really huge contracts, and teams are kind of trying to go in different
Yeah.
directions, like the Raiders. And
Going back to the Dolphins, they have another one, Waddle. They're
yeah,
trying to clean house, and man, they're looking at Waddle and Tua. It's like once McDaniels left, man, they're trying to blow up the whole team. Me
oh yeah,
personally, I would rather Waddle than Tyreek Hill, but
oh I'm 100 million thousand percent. I mean, Waddle's
yeah,
healthy; he can actually produce for you. He just needs a
that's true.
quarterback that can get him the ball.
And then of course we
I
got all the
guess.
big name quarterbacks out there
Oof,
that are ready
you're
to
done.
move on to different situations and
Big name,
change. Yeah,
big
kind of like
names,
the Daniel
little
Jones and the Donald effect.
big names and little bodies like Kyler. Kyler's probably
Oh
moving
yeah.
too. What I've heard.
When is the new Grand
Yeah,
Theft Auto coming out? Hopefully it comes
shit,
out.
dude.
Hopefully they don't release one this year. He can have a good year.
That's funny. And then I guess they all the international games were announced. I don't know if we spoke too much about that last week, but Cowboys are in
Uh,
Brazil, and then
yeah, they're in Brazil.
they actually got. I think they just announced another one as well. But all of them have
They're
been
gonna get to
announced.
see. I mean, they're gonna get to see some really nice hotel rooms when they're in Brazil the whole time. Just stay in the hotel room the whole time and take the bus to the game, then the bus straight to the airport.
Now, on top of the big free agency names, I did want to mention some of the quarterbacks that I think are going to be moving, and what we don't really have an idea of where they're going to be going because there's so many quarterback needy teams right now,
Yep.
or teams that have quarterbacks that should be needy that aren't right now. But so the list just goes from Mariota. I mean, Mariota, I believe, would be a very capable backup. He proved it
Yeah.
this year. Russell Wilson. I think he's on the tail end of his career. I can see some team, giving him, a chance to come in and see what he has, kick some tires. But
Yep.
then we have Trent Richardson. Trent Richardson. Richardson from the Colts. I don't remember what his first name is. What's his name? His first name?
What is his name? I forgot.
But
Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson. AR.
He's more than likely going to be asking for a trade because he doesn't like the situation that he's in or how he was being treated. You got Derek Carr. I mean, Derek Carr might be coming out of retirement. He was talking about that. You got Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a viable backup option for somebody out there.
Captain Cole's Cash Kirk.
Aaron Rodgers. Is he going to come back? Is he not? He has to find the perfect spot. I really think
I think he'd only come back if he's playing for Pittsburgh under Mike McCarthy. Yeah.
Another one that is Daniel Jones kind of showed what he could do on the Colts. Yeah. And if they're going to move on without him, I know his injury was tough, but I mean, he kind of showed what he could do in that offense.
I would keep him. Yeah.
Then there's Malik Willis, Tua, and Kyler. I think we've mentioned those before, but I mean, that's a pretty big group of.
That's a viable quarterback. Yeah. All of the none of those are like who I'd be like, man, I would hate to have this guy on my team, except probably Aaron Rodgers. He's
Russell Wilson. I would say Russell Wilson on my end. If we signed him, I'd be like, oh, you got to be kidding me. But Rodgers, I can say the same thing too. I agree.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, the last couple things in the NFL, the tag window started this Tuesday, so teams can actually
17th.
Tag their players.
No one's done it yet, but you can do it if you want.
Yeah, we'll talk about our tag in a little bit. The Seahawks, they're losing their staff. A lot of their coaching staff is getting picked from teams in need. We knew that was going to happen.
Oh, yeah, that happens to every Super Bowl team. Yeah,
and they're also being sold.
I saw that. I saw that today. Officially, man, Super Bowl team.
Could you imagine that? It's like,
and I know the buyers, man, the buyers are crying right now.
A brand new coaching staff, kind of, and a brand new owner. I mean, it's gonna be crazy. You're gonna have a new running back. It's gonna be crazy.
And like then, the buyers are like, damn it, why they have to win the Super Bowl the year we bought them? Like that probably tacked on another $2-3 billion to the price.
Exactly. And then last one is the big news in Chiefdom. In the Kansas City Chiefs restructured Mahomes' contract and freed up about $47 million.
$47 million, I think it was. $47 million. Yeah. It's a lot of money.
I mean, it's just all that did was say, "Hey, Jerry, why are we waiting to do this for Dak? I mean, we know it's going to happen. We already know it's going to happen. Just get it done early.
Just do it.
Don't drag your feet."
And also on the tag stuff, the deadline is March 3rd. So that's why it wasn't like a rush to tag people today. They still have between now and the 3rd to negotiate with the person. So you'll see 2-3 days before the tag deadline that this person's getting tagged, because that means that they're at an impasse. It's like, we're not close on the deal, so we're just going to tag them. And then you have until July 15th. You can negotiate. So you have until the 3rd to tag them. If it's the 4th, you can't tag them anymore. They're officially a free agent. But once you tag them, you have until July 15th to negotiate. Then once it's the 16th, that means they have to play on the tag. Or you can trade them on the tag if you really want to. That's a possibility as well.
And a lot of teams will do that because they want to be able to negotiate with another team and say, hey, we already have him on a tag, and we can sign him. What would you like for us to sign them for? And then we can trade him, because that's a good.
And that's usually a good starting point. Like whatever the tag is, that's usually a good starting point for that person negotiating. It's usually 4 or 5 tags every year, and that leads us into ours, because our he's the number one free agent on the board, George Pickens.
When was the last time we used it? Remember, we used it on the tight end. I know we used it on Dak twice, and then we used it on Ferg.
No, the last time was on Tony Pollard, 2023.
Oh, but then we
used it on Dalton Schultz.
Schultz. That's what I was talking about. Dalton Schultz was the
Yeah,
last time.
maybe did Schultz in 2022.
He was the last player that. Oh wait, no. Our running back did play on it that year. Oh,
yeah,
crazy.
Pollard was like, so we've used it every year since. No, not every year. We didn't do it in 2024. So,
but
DeMarcus Lawrence was 18 and 19. Dak Prescott was 2021. Schultz was 22, and Pollard was 23.
So Pollard was the only one that played on it. I think the other ones got signed.
Yeah, they did a deal. You do not want your star quarterback playing on the tag.
No,
that made zero sense. So last year they broke a 6-year streak of tagging somebody. So hopefully we'll keep that non-tag streak going and sign Pickens before July 15th.
I have a feeling they're going to tag him. They're going to tag him.
Oh yeah,
first,
they're definitely going to tag him. Yeah, they're definitely going to tag him. I just hope and pray that they sign him before July 15th.
The thing about it is that Pickens and his we're jumping into Cowboy news now. Pickens him and his agent did give a timeline for negotiations and did tell Dallas that they want to start talking at the combine.
Yeah,
and which is good. I mean, at least
the
doors of communication are open now, right? We never really heard that before with like Micah and them. It was just like it was silence for a long time. We could think that they were talking, but they weren't talking at all. Now we know they'll be talking. So we might have.
I'm just hoping that the front office realizes all the stuff they've been doing the last few years hasn't been working. It's time to start. Like our best players' windows are closing. Like with the Dak, CeeDee Lamb, Ferguson window. Like those, it's closing. You can't go by. Well, this is what we've done the last 6-7 years. Like no, we got fresh tactics.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you on that. So the defensive staff was finalized, which was which was exciting. The last couple guys that were signed were kind of a surprise, and we went over the one from the SMU defensive coordinator, but we did sign a defensive assistant.
Is that why they had the
UCF
press conference today? Because they finally finalized it?
The press conference today was actually the introduction of Ford Parker, and it had been
it had been on the schedule already?
It was scheduled. If you got a chance to see it, it was. I feel I've never seen a coach step in that had exuded so much confidence right away. Like it was just Shoddy and it was him sitting together, and Shoddy is the head coach. You can definitely tell that Shoddy has the head coach aura around him when he's around anybody, even Parker. And Parker is very, very quiet, and he's very serious, but he has this confidence that because people, I mean, they were throwing questions at him like, why do you think that you were the best fit? Why were you hired? What is your scheme? All this stuff, and he just had answers prepared that I've never heard from defensive coordinators before. Like he was ready right away, and I think one of the biggest things that I took from it was his organization and his readiness always. Because he said, what did he say? He said confidence comes from being prepared. That's all it is. And then like from then on, from that moment that he said that in the beginning, I could tell that he was completely organized and that all of these answers not had been rehearsed, but he knows what he's talking about. He doesn't have to sit there and think about things and this guy don't know. He right away they're like, what kind of scheme are you going to be running? And he's like, well, what you're going to see right away is that the transition to a 3-4, but we are going to have 4-3. We're going to have 5-2 looks. We're going to have a whole bunch of schemes depending on the players that he has in the locker room, the teams that they're playing, the situation at that moment. And it's going to be night and day compared to the Eberflus defense, where it was just predictable, right?
So one thing I like about him is that there's a saying that goes, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So it's like, you might say, man, that guy's lucky. It's like, but no, he's been preparing for this for a long time. Now he has opportunity to put it in there. and it just seems like it's working. It's lucky, but it's like, no, they prepared for it. He seems like somebody who's very organized to where he has like a solid plan. But the thing that impressed me about him, he seems like somebody that would have 2 or 3 backup plans in case that original plan doesn't work. Because you might, and it might be a good plan, but like say your best player gets hurt on the very first 2-3 plays, and they were supposed to, so now you got to pivot. So he seems like somebody who, when it's time to pivot, he can still do a good job. Like we've had teams where it seemed like if our original plan didn't work, we didn't have any answers. We were just stuck in that rut the whole game, and that used to drive me insane. I used to hate that. We used to say it all the time. Didn't they have any like coaching or any game plan adjustments at halftime? Like they just came on, did the exact same thing they did the first half. Like, 100%. No, it's going to work. We just got to stick to it. He seems like somebody who, if it seems like it's not working, that blitz scheme we had not working, let's switch up and then let's play coverage. Let's move this linebacker. Like he seems to have, and then on top of that, the plans he does have would be effective plans. Like that didn't work, so let's try this. Okay, now that's working. Let's stick with that type thing. And that's what impressed me about him.
Absolutely, and that was one of the questions that a few people were asking was like, well, what's going to happen when things actually aren't working? And he said, well, you have to understand that we're not going to go out there, and I'm not going to put players in a position to fail. If somebody isn't good at man coverage, I'm not going to call zone coverage over and over and over again. I'm going to call what the player's strengths are. But he also did say, on the other hand, I don't want to be handicapped as well with players out there that can't run multi schemes. I'm not going to be up there with the cornerback that says I can't run zone, I can't cover in zone. Is that I need players out there can do everything that I ask them to do. And I think that was kind of not a jab at Diggs, but I mean it was. If you think back, I mean Diggs was just screaming, I can't play the zone. I got to play man.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You're a cornerback in the NFL. You've been doing this here all your life. You can't do that. But I think as a really one of his strengths was being able to place the right players in the right spots at the right times, and I think he's getting that a lot from Fangio because Fangio is very good at doing that.
Yeah. So two things on his defense. Mm-hmm. One is what we all saw this year. We would see K9 out there, Kenneth Murray, or we would see Sanborn out there just getting toasted, and for some reason they would still leave them out there. Like, I guess he'll figure it out, and then it would just over and over. And so what I'm hoping to see out of him is if some, everybody has busted plays, everybody gets beat. The best, Darrell Revis got beat, Deion Sanders got beat, everybody got beat. So that's not a problem for me. The problem is when they are consistently getting beat over and over, and either you're not helping them or you're leaving them in the game instead of like, let's try something different. And then the second part to that is, like you said, putting players in a situation where they succeed, like finding out what they do well and putting them in it, not holding somebody, well, he's our star player, we're paying him the most, so he has to play, as opposed to this rookie undrafted free agent who's playing very well, but since he's not making big money, we're going to keep him on the bench and let this other guy play because he's making $6 million a year. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see same old. I want to see different. That's why I say fresh blood, fresh tactics, fresh everything. Hopefully that'll work.
Another thing that he did mention that was really profound was that even Shoddy said it. He said what it really shined about him was his teaching. Right, he's not just a coach; he's a teacher. And they asked him, what do you mean? How are you going to be able to teach players and teach other coaches? And he said, well, the main thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use a lot of different tactics. I mean, there's a lot of, I'm going to call people out in meetings. I'm going to have them stand up and teach the class. I'm going to randomly stop people in the halls, and I'm going to talk to them and ask them what they know and how they got there and what they need to do in certain situations. He said, "You'll never see a player that is on the field that has no idea what they're doing." That's one thing
that was my biggest pet peeve, where it's 5 seconds left on the play clock and they're about to snap
like,
the ball, and
"What do I
our
do?"
cornerbacks are like, what are we doing? What are we playing? What's the coverage? And I'm like, that just blew my mind. I'm like, and this was like in week 14, 15, not week 1 or 2 or 3. This was like 3/4 of the way through the season, and they're like, I don't know what we're doing. And that that was so frustrating to see. And then out of seasoned players, not like some undrafted free agent rookie. This is his first year in the NFL, but this is guys who have 6, 7 years still looking like, what's the play? I don't know what we're doing. Oh man, that just burned me up.
Two things that I got from this press conference that really made me feel confident about that things are changing is, yes, they did address the fact that there was so many interviews. I mean, this was the first time that the Cowboys did 40 plus interviews for a coordinator ever.
That's crazy.
And he was sitting there, and Shotty was kind of talking about how it was overwhelming. It was like this was the first time that Jerry actually was in all of these meetings. He was in all of the Zooms. He was in every one of the physical meetings. Talking about what they want and but listening to. And one thing that I did, another thing that I brought from what they were talking about was they wanted to bring in coaches that were teachers. And that was a big, huge aspect of it when they were talking to Parker about, the interviews that they had with some of these guys. He's like, even though some of these guys are younger and they have never maybe been in that specific position, because they did interview DCs. They interviewed defensive coordinators and big coaches and coming in, but those guys were not teachers. Those guys were coming in with, this is my scheme and this is how we run it. Not, let's figure out what we have on the table here and put together the best scheme that we can for everybody involved, and then and who we're playing, right?
Because imagine how good you have to be. Man, imagine how good you have to be the cream of the crop out of all those people that got interviewed. Like if you remember McCarthy, just one day we just saw the alert. Cowboys hire Mike McCarthy. I don't remember an interview. I don't remember interviewing several people, like nothing. It's just, hey, Mike McCarthy's our coach. But they really went thorough, a lot of them. And then this guy, they felt, like, oh man, it's clear he's the best one out of all that. So it's got to do something for your ego. Be like, man, I really. And then he doesn't have any like ties. He's nobody's son of a former Cowboy great, that gave him an in. Like he really had to earn it. Like it was no hookups. Like, I mean, he seems good, and his dad used to play linebacker for us, so let's give him the job. Like,
no, I get you. Or like a previous player or somebody. Yeah, I think what he was bringing in, he's bringing in coaches that know how to coach and teach, but they are young and they have good new ideas. He's not bringing in player or coaches that he's already coached with that have the same ideas. He's going to be bringing in coaches that are bringing in way different ideas. I mean, that SMU defensive coordinator, I think he's going to be an outlier of he's going to get stolen by somebody in the NFL really quick.
Yeah.
And Shotty was talking about Shotty was talking about last year when they were hiring the offensive coaching staff, right? Eberflus brought in everybody he wanted, but they did hiring for the offensive coaching staff, and they really did what the defense did last year with the offense, not as there wasn't 40 plus, but I mean they were picking and choosing really good young coaches that are going to get stolen. I mean, that's the whole point. That's his whole thing, Shadi, is that culture is that we want to promote from within, and we want to be in a position where we have to say goodbye to a good coach because he's moving on to a better career.
I'm going to be devastated when Clayton Adams.
How many people want to work for somebody like that's going to really believe in them and believe that I'm going to help you in your career trajectory? You know what I mean? Not too many coaches are like that.
I'm going to be depressed when Clayton Adams gets a offensive coordinator or head coach job somewhere. I'm like, oh man, I missed that guy.
And listening to Parker today, I seriously, I was sitting there thinking, and I was typing it out. I said, I might be looking at the future Dallas Cowboy coach. Because
It's
I
a
mean,
good
if
thing.
not that I don't believe in Shoddy and his, you know, everything that he
Yeah.
believes in and what he's brought, but it could come down to a point where we don't want to lose this guy because
Mm-hmm.
he's amazing and what he brings to the team, and what he brings to the team is, outweighs what we if we lost him, And so I think that we could be looking at a future Dallas Cowboy head coach in Christian
What's
Parker.
funny is that was the thought process when Eberflus was here, and he was a linebackers coach.
Yeah.
But they had to let him go because, like, oh man, he's gonna end up being a coach one day. But we couldn't hold on to him. That's when we hired McCarthy, and then they hired Dan Quinn, so he went to Indianapolis, and then he ended up going to Chicago. But that's a funny story considering that's
Yeah.
exactly what they thought with
And
Eberflus.
And I was thinking the same thing with like when we were doing with Quinn, because DQ, where he was getting paid head coach money as a
Yeah,
coordinator
head coach money as a coordinator.
because they didn't want to not only lose him and his abilities, but I mean he could have been the coach of the Cowboys,
Yep.
right? I mean, so either way, I mean that's pretty much all that we have in Cowboys news.
So we're looking at pick 12 and pick 20.
In the first,
what would you so you're Jerry, Mr. Eddie Jones, and you have two things on the table. Either you can package those picks and move up into like the top 5, or you can trade back and get second, trade like keep 12 and trade 20, or trade 12 and keep 20, to where like you trade from like 12 to like 26. So now you have 20, 26, now a new second or third round pick. Which one is more appealing to you, getting a stud or getting 3 to 4 very solid players?
See, these last few weeks I've been playing around with PFN, and I don't have PFF. I haven't spent that money yet, but PFN is the mock draft, and I'm able to play around with it, and
it's good for what we need.
It's good for my when I'm sitting there and I'm just playing around with things. I get to play around and see what we can actually do. And I saw a couple of writers that sent some things out this week about trades that we can do. It really depends on if we're going to trade up. We're going to trade up because there's a specific player that we're trading up for. We're not trading up for opportunities. So like there was one this week with the Cleveland Browns where we swapped 12 and 20 with them and picked up their 6th and their 39th pick, and I think 107. How all the picks are worth it. I think ours is like worth 2,005 points or something like that. But that pick went. I mean, that trade went through on all the engines. Like, so we were able to move up in the draft and have the 6th pick, but now then we wouldn't have picks for another 33 picks or whatever until 39. I don't know how well that's, I mean, we're going to get that safety that we need from Ohio State there maybe, but then we lose all the cornerbacks and defensive ends that we were going to draft till 39. So is it worth it?
I am not a fan of moving up into like the top 5 or 6 to draft one stud player. I'm not a fan of that at all. I would rather have 3 to 4, like in the NFL draft. I would rather have more bites of the apple as opposed to the first bite of the apple. Like it's good when you hit on those picks. Like, I mean, if you get a Aaron Donald, even though he went like number 11 or whatever, or if you get a Michael Parsons, it's good when you hit on those. But I think it's harder to pick a stud in the top 10 than it is to pick solid players in the end of the first round, beginning of the second round. It's only one player. I'd rather have those.
It's only one player.
I'd rather have 2 or 3 players.
It could be Bain, because Bain's going to be Bain's going to be gone. He's not going to be there by 12. And either is Caleb Downs.
Or Downs. Yeah, or Downs. So Downs won't be there.
If we're moving up, it's for those 2 players. But I'm right with you, man. I come from a philosophy of trade back for more. That's just, I mean,
Me
that's
too.
my buyer's remorse as well. If
Me
I
too.
go to a store and I'm looking at these Jordans and these Jordans are $250, but then I look over at the clearance section and there's 2 pairs of Jordans for each of them are $110. I think I'm going to go over there and start looking at those because I really want 2 pairs
It's
instead
how
of
I
just
am.
one. That's the way I am.
And this is coming from somebody who I was very happy when we did the Morris Claiborne trade at the time when we moved up. I was very happy about that pick. I went to LSU. I graduated from there, so I'm an LSU guy. So I was very happy when that happened, but it didn't work out. So I don't blame them for it because it was a big swing at a good player at a position of need, but it just didn't work out. And because it didn't work out is exactly why I don't like doing that.
Yeah, I guess I get it. So I really do. I would agree with you. I think we need to trade back and trading back. When you play around with it, because I've done it a couple times, and we'll do it in a couple weeks. We're actually
I'm
going
about
to
to
do some
say,
drafting,
yeah,
and you will see what if the algorithm or if the machine accepts them, because it's just a math equation.
yeah, yep. Kind of
So
like the thing we did last week when we showed a couple times. We tried to sign some people to a lower contract. I'm like, nope, this is rejected.
nope,
So it's like
exactly.
it depends on how it is. But let's get into some drafts. You got some
Let's
drafts
do it.
for us? Show
Yes,
us
sir. I think
PFN. We're gonna
so.
let them choose for us.
What I want, yeah, what we agreed on, and I think we thought it was going to be really fun to do today was to allow the 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 algorithm to actually make the picks for us. We're gonna allow AI to do the draft, and then we'll analyze it. But the good thing about PFN, and let me go ahead and share what all right, let's see.
Show me the money.
So this is the screen that can you see it?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, so this is the screen that that allows you to pick which team you want to draft for how many rounds you want to go for, the speed. But this is a new addition this year. It actually allows you to use other websites draft player
Rankings.
rankings, which is nice because
Yeah, that's
last year
good.
it was just PFN, and everybody was like, yeah, the rankings on PFN are way off and blah blah blah. So I thought
Yeah,
today we could do 3 of them, and we'll choose PFF, we'll choose ESPN, and we'll choose consensus. I thought
let's
those
do
were
that. Let's
3
do that.
strong. So we'll
Let's
go
see
ahead
what
and
they give us.
choose PFN, and then we'll allow it to go through, and then let's analyze what this was all about.
Pick the Cowboys. I want to see
No,
what they
no,
do.
no, no, no. We're gonna let it go because if I pick the Cowboys, we have to pick the picks. So I'm gonna let
Oh,
it
okay.
go.
Gotcha. So it picks for everyone. I like
It's
that.
gonna
Yeah.
pick everybody. And you know what? Hang on a second.
I'm about to say, man,
Let me go
speed it
back
up.
to
We're
it.
gonna be here all day.
I didn't choose fast. All right, let me go to fast, and let me go back to PFF, and let's go ahead and let it go. All right, so it's gonna go through. It's gonna make the picks for us, and then we're going to go and we're going to analyze.
And then just filter out the Cowboys.
And we know what's nice is it actually is doing trades as well. So we're going to
analyze
analyze
with
if we did any
with the little blue button.
Yeah. So, and we'll be able to actually see each player too, and kind of click on each player and see if there's any write up about him. If you guys don't know anything about that player, so this is a fun tool to use. It is profootballnetwork.com/mock draft. We'll put the link in the description so that you guys can play around with this tool as well. It's free. You don't have to pay any money to use it, which is nice. All right, so this is.
I wonder if we can use this for fantasy.
Oh, I wish.
Have them pick my players.
So here we go. Let's go ahead and click on the Cowboys and see who we drafted. So here we go. You see this?
Yeah.
With our so we didn't do any trades. There were no trades, so we just stayed with who we had, and we went ahead and drafted the LSU cornerback Mansour Delane.
I'm 100% okay with that.
I love that pick.
LSU, baby. He is not
20.
Morris Claiborne.
Yeah. When you could click on him, you could actually see, his height, his weight. Soon you'll be able to see his raw score after the combine.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of read a little bit about him.
I wonder if we are going to focus on that like we used to. Like with Garrett, he was really big on like 9 point something RAS score guys, even if they weren't exactly the best at their position, like technical, but he loved athletes. And so it's like, I wonder if we're shifting away from that and we're, going toward power schools.
Remember we talked about, I don't know if it was last week, the week before last, when we talked about the what we are kind of transitioning to, where they're looking at the second year production and the last year's production. Like the last 2 years production, and then really focusing on the last year's production and that score. And we're trying to go after players like that now, which I think is a smart move.
All right. So tell us what you think about this one.
Our second pick, I don't know. I'd have to take a look, and that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to actually look to see who was drafted right after 20. So McDonald, there was a receiver. We got our edge Parker that we're missing out on here. Linebacker Allen we missed out on. I don't know. Jeremiah Love didn't get drafted until the end of the draft, which doesn't make any sense.
Not think we should draft offensive tackle, but I can see them doing it. But I don't think we should. I think we should really focus on defense,
especially if we're going to release Steele. I think they might focus on it, but I think this was a really BPA, right? Best player available at the exact moment was this guy.
Plus, if he's one of those where he's available at 20, but he was like the 9th ranked player on the board, I can see them doing that too. Like if that player had a lot of tremendous value and somehow he kind of like CeeDee Lamb, they had zero inclination that they were going to draft CeeDee Lamb because they were like, "It's no way he's going to make it to 18," but somehow he made it to 18, and they had to. Like they were going to draft Kayvon Chason, but they was like, "We have to draft this guy." He was like the 4th or 5th best player on the board, and he's here at 18 or whatever number he got drafted at. So they had to get him. So if this guy is like in that realm where he's like the 2nd best tackle, and somehow he made it down to 20, then I can understand that pick, and I would be okay with it. But if he was ranked at this point and they still picked him, then I wouldn't be okay with it.
Yeah. He was one of the best offensive linemen in college, but it really depends on, are we drafting for what we're trying to draft so that players can start right now, right? We need to really hit on these first 3 or 4 picks. And, in this draft, I'm not a big fan of this draft. I think we hit real big here. I think this guy will play in the NFL for a very long time. And then these guys, Sapp he's not related to Warren. He has some size, 6'3", 275 as a D tackle or DN. I think he played both. I did a little bit of research on him, but I'm not the biggest fan of that guy. Cole was
What I do like about this draft is they are going with bigger schools. Utah is, like, I consider that a bigger school, but they're not going with let's draft this project out of North Dakota State or whatever. They're going after power schools that play against power schools.
We always had that Boise State, connection all the time, and we're like, who do you play against?
Exactly. So sometimes it hit and sometimes it didn't. But I'm glad that they're going after schools that play in big-time stadiums in front of big-time crowds and played in big-time games and can come in and play in big-time crowds in front of us, big-time games, and not, be like, man, this is too much. The Cowboys are just too much. But nah, they're used to it.
Yep. I guess we're looking for this. If this was the draft and we're sitting there, that next week, and we're like, this is what we just drafted, I wouldn't be too excited. I wouldn't be the most excited that I could be.
Give us an A, B, C, a grade for this draft.
I think this is like a B minus C plus draft, right?
B
here.
minus. You see that? You chose PFF, right?
Yeah, this was the
All right.
PFF.
See that PFF?
So let's go.
B minus. All right, let's go to the
All right, so
next
let's go back. We can restart. And let's go ahead, do 7 again. Fast. And let's go ahead and choose ESPN this time. I mean, I chose ESPN. Do you want to choose ESPN or do you want to do
Yeah, you can choose
anything
ESPN.
else?
Yeah.
Okay.
I trust you. I
All
trust
right.
your judgment.
Let's do it. So here we go. We're off and running. Now, again, we don't have any affiliation with PFN or PF or anything. They're not paying us for this, but it's
this
again,
is just
it's a fun,
kind of like the website we used last week. It's just something for us football nerds who like to think about stuff like this.
That's exactly what this is. I mean, my kids call me a football nerd all the time. And
I know casual fans
Dad's
will be like, "This is terrible," but for the people who really care about it, man, we're tapping into that. We try to keep it, but we're trying to make it as easy to understand for the casual fan as to what goes into this. So many players to choose from, and then of course you get sniped. Like you'll get sniped by somebody. We get sniped all the time. Like that's our guy, but somebody right before you picks him, and all that. So.
Ooh, look at this.
Oh man.
Look at this draft.
Ooh, man.
Oh
my nipples are so hard right now. So hard right now.
So this was the ESPN draft. First draft pick, Caleb Downs. This is the best case scenario at 12 for us.
Best case.
I believe.
I don't see a way that this happens. I don't know how Caleb Downs. If he makes it to 12, then it's 11 other teams that just like it's 4 or 5 teams that just completely zagged.
Let's take a look. We knew that's going to happen. We knew that he was going to be drafted before him. We knew he was going to
Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, Love's going to go in the top 6.
He went 30.
100%.
He went 30 in the one we just did.
It didn't make any sense. I have no idea why. It didn't make any sense at all.
That's crazy. Is he the best running back in the nation?
By far.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I'm a Notre Dame fan, but by far he was the best running back. I don't think there's going to be another running back in the first. And then obviously David Bailey's going to go. Sonny Styles went early.
Yeah.
Bain went after Bailey.
I thought we had a better shot. I thought we had a better shot at Sonny Styles than Caleb Downs.
Yeah. If anything, I think the Browns here, I think Caleb Downs goes here. It just doesn't. And see how Mariota went to the Chiefs. Chiefs probably go after a receiver this year, I would think.
Yeah, they need one bad.
Now that Rasheed Rice
he got in trouble again. Yeah, man. Like he might get suspended for the whole season.
He was talking about he said something about retiring yesterday.
Yeah. So in case y'all don't know, the Rasheed Rice, when the news dropped today, his baby mama or whoever it is, girlfriend filed charges against him for
like
extended abuse, not like one-time abuse, like abuse over the course of months and months. So that's not looking good for him. So we'll see. Anyway, but there it is, UTSA, one of those small schools right there.
This Peter Woods pick is, I think this guy is 1B. Like there's 1A and 1B D tackles, like the best, and I mean slightly less better. Peter Woods is that guy. Peter Woods is going to be in the NFL for a very long time. So I think that would be a good pick.
What do you think if we keep Kenny Clark? Would this be like a luxury pick?
Well, we're gonna have a rotation. We did, even though we had Kenny Clark and Williams and Osa, we did see Toya. We did see when Perrion actually came back. We did see him. So
but
there,
draft him in the first round. We can't have a first round pick being a rotational player. Can we?
You know what? This could be, if you're able to pick Peter Woods. I mean, he's on a rookie contract. You might be able to cut or trade who we're talking, one of our D tackles,
Kenny Clark. Yeah, because out of the three D tackles, Quinnen Williams is one, Osa is a little bit below him, and then Kenny Clark is more down bottom, to where it's like if you had to pick one, Kenny Clark gets cut 100 times out of 100.
Age-wise,
so
right?
it's like,
I think it's age-wise. I mean, it's just the upside.
Well, I mean,
ceiling
even skill wise, skill wise and disruption and all that. Also had a down year, but I think it was more of what he was asked to do as opposed to his skill.
Absolutely.
Let me put it that way.
I got you. I feel you on that. Let's see. Another little guy, another little running back. No thanks. Yeah.
And then out of a small school, I don't like that. Western Michigan.
Another Western Michigan. One. Well, this guy. I mean, this is where we got Marshawn from, Western Michigan, as an edge.
Yeah.
So it looks like we traded 177 and 216 and got 165.
Okay.
So that we must have liked him a lot.
And so just so everybody knows, I don't not like small school guys. I just know that was something that they tried to do because the RAS score was high, and like I still remember that one safety we got. Man, his name was Matt. It was like a light-skinned little safety, and he never played because his hamstrings were made out of paper mache, and he would get put on the.
You're talking about our safety coach right now. What's his name?
And he's on our
squad.
He always got hurt, and he never played for us. But his scores were off the charts. Like when they ranked him against all the better safeties, I think Bob Sanders was the premier safety at the time, and his scores were better than Bob Sanders, and he just never played it down for us because he always tore his hamstring every season until they just released him. It was crazy.
So, anyway. Give what kind of letter grade would you give this draft if you were to have to give it a draft?
Man, I have no idea. I don't watch college football, so I don't know. I would give it an A+ just because we got Caleb Downs. Like that's just, I only know the blue chippers, the big names from the schools. I'll be up front, and that's why I keep you around on the show so you can tell me which college players are good.
Well, I appreciate that. If I'm looking at this small school wise, I don't really know too many of these guys. The first two picks were nice, were real nice. So, yeah. I mean, again, this is I think a B. Caleb Downs is going to get an A+. Peter Woods would get an A-, and then everybody else would probably get like B's and C's, maybe even a D.
So it's one of those things where, as long as it's defense, I'm good because we need all the help on defense, blue chippers on defense. So let's go. What's the third one?
Third one was consensus.
Consensus. Right? What is consensus? You mean like just an average of everybody?
I think it's just the group. I guess it's an average of or what the media consensus is.
All right, let's do it. 7 rounds. Fast. Now you got the 7 rounds. Fast. Consensus.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Here it is. If your eyes are quick, you might be able to see who we picked, but I didn't see it. I think it was Muliago again.
I would love to get Reese, Arvell Reese. Somehow
he's gonna go real fast. He's gonna go real fast.
That's what I'm saying. If somebody would drop, like, say we had a choice, like, hey, do you want Caleb Downs to drop or Reese to drop? I'm like, yes, give me Reese, please.
Do us a favor. You know what? Let's pull some money together. Let's hire somebody like an OnlyFans model to go ahead and drop over to the Ohio State campus and hang out with one of these players that we want to drop.
Or we can get them to put on a gas mask and smoke.
That's what
weed
I'm talking about.
It.
Just do something.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go.
Who we got?
This is. Oh yeah. See, we did. Muyaga again.
Did we trade out? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we traded 20. Looks like we got 24 and 52. Let's see.
That's good.
No, we just traded straight up for 24 and got a Cleveland second next year, which
next year, which is pretty good.
And then we traded 112 for 52, 112, 150, and next year's second.
And then that second for 52.
The 52. So
I'm not feeling that trade.
Who we got? I'm not feeling this draft either. I mean, I really do like Thieneman. Those of you that actually were able to see Oregon games this year, he plays. Who was that safety from the Vikings that choked CD?
Harrison
from Yes. he reminds me of Harrison a lot. Just a younger version, very fast. He makes plays, but to draft him in the first, I think would be like a downer. I'd be like, because I think there's other players that we can draft. So
okay.
out of these 3 drafts, honestly, the first draft I think would be the best fit for us. But I'm kind of disappointed in all 3 of these, to be honest
I
with you.
think I like the If I had to pick, I'd say the second one is the one that would get me the most excited.
Yeah,
but
because we're
once
looking
again,
at, I mean,
in
giving up too much capital for these guys.
Yeah, in Will McClay, we trust. So we would need him to come through and give us some good players. Because I wasn't too high on some of the players he picked, like Ezaraku. I'm gonna be high on him next year, but I'm like, who when we drafted him? But he ended up being a pretty sound player for us. Overshown was a pretty sound player for us, but Overshown came in with some hype too. So, but as far as players that came in pretty high, you're like, who is this? Same thing with Tyler Smith. I was very much against the Tyler Smith pick, and it turned out to be one of the better picks we've had in the last 10 years. So, hey, and will we trust? Yeah, I'm still waiting on the Tyler Guyton pick to pan out, which I think it will, if he can switch over to the right side. I think it'll work out.
Absolutely.
So we still have time on that. I can't call that a bust yet.
Yeah, I think so too.
We'll see how it goes.
In the next couple of weeks, we'll pull this PFN up again and actually do the draft and make some trades ourselves. It'll be a lot more fun and interactive because we'll be able to do that. But
pick the players we want. Don't let the consensus ESPN PFF people tell us what to do. They can't tell us how to live our life.
Absolutely, 100%.
So y'all let us know which draft you liked. I like draft number 2 the best.
You did. I like the first
Eddie
one.
Eddie leaned more toward the first one the best. So y'all let us know which one you like the best. Let us know if we had any hidden gems in there that we don't know about. Like I know, like me, I follow LSU, so I know LSU players. Eddie follows Oregon, and so he knows Oregon players and Notre Dame. But if you know somebody like that guy from UTSA, was he any good? The guy from Eastern Michigan, was he any good? Let us know if you're missing out on a gem.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been talking to guys, and they're like, I hope we hire or we draft a Miami Hurricane because I've been a Hurricane fan all my life. You know, some people just want one of their players on the team so that they can root for them. So, hey, we'll see. We'll see how it works out.
Sometimes, and sometimes that helps in fantasy too. Because I remember in fantasy, I do a lot of dynasty, and I picked up Tony Pollard when he was just sitting there on the waiver wire because nobody. And so I'm like, but I'm a Cowboys fan, so I knew about him. I knew what they were going to plan to do with him. And the same thing happened with a guy on our team. He's a huge not the Los Angeles Rams fan, and he picked up Puka Nacua off the waiver wire because nobody knew who he was, and now he's like, he found a gem, he found a diamond. So hopefully we can do that. Let us know.
We'll do it. So the last thing I wanted to mention was that in our interactions on the YouTube channel, I know that we get some comments here and there. What I'm going to start doing is I'm going to actually throw a comment up right away, and
pin a comment on there.
For those of you that that respond to that, I'm going to mention you on here. So my post on there, reply to it. Let me know what you'd like to talk about, what you want me to talk about you, if you have any ideas. So respond to me, and we'll get you on the next recording. I'll be excited.
That'll work. We'll read it next time.
Yes, sir.
So until then, we about to head on out, man. Tell everybody what's up.
You know how it is. Make sure that you're just be nice. That's all I'm asking. This next week, just try to be nice as possible. Don't be like Prescott. Make sure that you're nice. You smile, make people feel.
Forget that, man. Forget that. I'm the heel in WWE, man. Forget that.
Love it.
Anyway,
but you know how it is.
Y'all have a go.
We'll see you next week.
All right, man. We'll see y'all next week. Y'all stay frosty. I holla.